In the heart of rural Nigeria, there was a village named Iriti, known for its quiet charm and the way the sun bathed its dusty streets during the day. But it was what happened when the sun sank below the horizon that made Iriti infamous. No one spoke of it aloud, not to outsiders, not even to each other, but everyone knew the rule. At sunset, no one must be outside, and all windows must be closed. Long ago, an ancient and terrible force, known only as Oru, emerged from the nearby forest. The elders said the creature came from another realm, a dark spirit who preyed on human fear. It roamed the village every night after sunset, able to mimic voices, sounds, and even the faces of loved ones to lure people out. The first victim was Baba Olori, the village chief, who vanished one night after hearing his wife's voice calling from outside, despite her lying asleep beside him. The next morning, his body was found by the well, his face twisted in terror, his ears filled with blood, his limbs twisted in impossible angles. His wife swore she had not called out to him. The villagers tried to ignore the whispers at first, but it became impossible. Every night, after sunset, the creature came closer. It whispered in the wind, calling out to children with their mothers' voices, beckoning husbands with the cries of their wives, and using the voices of the dead to torment the living. The rule was simple: never answer the whispers. Yet, as easy as it sounded, many failed to resist the eerie, familiar voices. For generations, the elders tried to fight back. They consulted the gods, performed rituals, and even made offerings at the forest edge, but Oru was beyond the gods' reach. He belonged to a realm of darkness that mortal prayers could not penetrate. One particular evening, the story begins with Ifunanya, a young woman who recently moved to Iriti to live with her grandmother after her parents passed. She had always been skeptical of village superstitions, thinking they were just stories to keep children in line. But on the night of her first sunset in Iriti, the air changed. The village transformed. The once bustling roads emptied, and the cheerful chatter of the day vanished. She heard her grandmother bolt the windows and lock the doors, her old hands trembling as she lit candles and muttered ancient prayers. Ifunanya, whatever you hear, do not open the door. Do not speak. Do not even look outside after the sun has gone, her grandmother warned, her voice filled with a fear Ifunanya had never heard before. Sitting in the small room, Ifunanya's curiosity burned. The whispers began as soon as the last bit of sunlight faded. They were faint at first, almost like the wind, but then they grew louder, clearer, her mother's voice, sweet and familiar. Ifunanya. Ifunanya, my child, come outside. I need you. Her heart stopped. She knew it couldn't be her mother. Her mother was gone. She had buried her herself. Yet the voice was so real, so warm, as if her mother was just beyond the door, waiting. Her grandmother's warnings echoed in her head: do not answer. Do not look. But the whispering continued for hours. Each night, the creature became more daring, mimicking more voices, weaving in childhood memories, secrets only her mother could have known. The pull to look, to answer, grew stronger, but Ifunanya resisted, until the night when her grandmother didn't respond to the whispers at all. That evening, Ifunanya woke to silence. No sound of her grandmother's prayers. The whispers grew louder, more insistent. And then, the unmistakable sound of her grandmother's voice, soft and trembling, from the hallway. Ifunanya, come out. I need you. Help me, my child. It's me. Her heart raced, torn between fear and love. Was it the creature, or was her grandmother really in trouble? She couldn't bear the thought of leaving her grandmother alone. Against her better judgment, she moved quietly toward the door, but just as she reached for the handle, a sharp knock echoed from outside. Open up, Ifunanya. It was her grandmother's voice, but harsher, more urgent now. Quick, before it finds me. But something was wrong. The voice was just off. Too hurried. Too desperate. Ifeanyi hesitated, and that's when she heard the soft breathing behind her. Slowly, she turned. In the shadows, by the window, stood her real grandmother, her finger pressed to her lips, her eyes wide with fear. The voice outside grew angry, pounding at the door. "Let me in. It's me." But Ifeanyi now understood the truth. It wasn't her grandmother outside. The next morning, the village gathered, the tension of the night hanging in the air like smoke. Ifeanyi, her voice shaking, shared her experience with the elders. They nodded solemnly, for they had all survived such nights, nights where the creature came closest to breaching the sacred boundaries of their homes. But Ifeanyi was different. She wasn't just a survivor. She was a fighter. She vowed to discover the truth about Ejoro, to uncover its origins and find a way to stop it. The whispers would not take her. And they would not take her village. But the question remained, how long could she resist the call of the dead? End of part 1. This is just the beginning of Ifeanyi's journey to face the ancient force haunting her village. How will she uncover the secrets of Ejoro? Will she succeed where so many have failed, or will she too become a whisper at dusk?